All right, guys, let's start with question number one. So question number one on the science section states, which of the polyols listed in table 2 is least soluble in water at 40 degrees Celsius? So we have two reference points, two pieces of information we're going to use to reference back to the passage. Those two pieces of information are table 2 and 40 degrees Celsius. So we're going to look at table 2. We're going to look at 40 degrees Celsius, and we're going to pay attention to the solubility factor. And we're going to see, which one of these answer choices are going to be the least soluble. And I always recommend, with science questions, you circle, underline, specifically what they're looking for. So that way it pops out to you. That way you have a clear goal in mind when you go back to the passage. So we're going to be looking at table 2, 40 degrees Celsius. So here's table 2, and here is 40 degrees Celsius. All right. And again, we were looking at the polyols and we're looking at solubility. So the question was asking us which one has the least solubility. Well, the easy answer is going to be looking at 40 degrees Celsius and then looking at which number is the smallest, and that is isomol. Your answer for this question, therefore, is isomol. How do I know it's isomol? Just based off the numbers. Well, let's talk about solubility a little bit. So here, they're showing you solubility as a percent by mass at some temperature, okay? And if you look above, it says the solubility is the maximum percent by mass of the polyol that can dissolve in water kept at a constant temperature. So essentially what solubility is in this passage, in this graph here, is, they have this percent of the compound that will dissolve in the solution. The higher the percentage, the more soluble it is, right? Like if I have a compound that only 10% of it dissolves, and then I have another compound where 90% of the compound dissolves, the one with 90% is going to be way more soluble because you have more of the mass, more of the compound that's dissolving in that solution. So here, how do I know it's least soluble? You look at 40 degrees Celsius because that's what the question told you, and you ask yourself which polyol had the smallest number, had the smallest percent by mass dissolving into the solution. And that is isomol. Isomol, it's at 40. Everything else is at 75, 68, 46. 40 is the smallest. Our answer is D. That's all you got to do for question number one. You circle, underline, highlight your reference points. Again, that was table 2, 40 degrees Celsius. Find it, scan for it, and then pick whichever one's the smallest. That's question number